you're thinking about starting a water damage restoration business in 2025, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share with you things that will save you time, money, and frustration. You can make a ton of money in water damage restoration, but you can blow thousands if you're not careful. In this video, I'm going to show you what to do and what to avoid. Let's go. All right, guys, as we get started, do me a favor, hit the like and the subscribe button, and then drop a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. So many people come to me and they say, Shane, I found you too late and I went ahead and did all this stuff. So for that reason, we're going to go through the list of all the things you don't need to do when you're getting started in your restoration business. Number one, you do not need a website. I cannot tell you how many people waste thousands and thousands of dollars building a website right out of the gate. Number one, nobody knows who you are. Even when you go build the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 website, you still need to get traffic. That's right, you got to get leads going to the website. The website is an utter waste of money. You do not need a website. In fact, I can even show you how to make $1 million in a single year from internet leads without a website. Number two, this one's gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way, but you don't need any equipment when you get started. I'll say this, a moisture meter and a little thermal camera. That's what you need because those things are for sales. But I'm gonna say this, like really, if you're getting started in the very beginning, you don't even know what equipment you need. Is it gonna be a water job, a mold job, a fire job? Like what is gonna be your first job? Do not go buy a big equipment package. Here's what everybody does. They go buy $5, $10, $15, $20,000 worth of gear and they got no money, no capital left to buy leads. Number three, another big mistake that I see people make is they obsess about a business name and a logo. And you really don't need either one of those things when you get started. Listen, at the very beginning, you don't even know if you have a business, okay? You can just get some generic little logo. You can go get some leads. You can buy them off the internet. They think they're calling ServPro or another company anyway, and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna go sign it and you're gonna get it done. And so when it comes to naming your business, we can even show you a little formula. It's who, what, where. That will help you rank higher in organic in the Google Maps section when you launch your business. All right, mistake number four, you don't need to go get a $6,000 to $10,000 insurance package and go get the LLC all spun up because you don't need an LLC. There's nothing to sue. You haven't done anything just yet, okay? Another big mistake that I see people make. Bro, you don't need all this software, okay? You don't need xactimate. You don't even have to use xactimate. You don't need moisture meter log or moisture Mika or whatever these dry log softwares are. Like, you don't have any jobs. The first one's probably gonna be a mold job anyway. So why do you need moisture mapping software? All you need to do is to get the daggum phone to ring, guys. Get the phone to ring, buy the leads. Your first dollar should be spent on leads, your last dollar should be spent on leads. Okay, now that y'all got me worked up, I've been telling you everything that you don't need to do, right? Let's talk about what you do need, okay? So you do need to have some idea what you're doing. So you can get a WRT certification and an ASD certification. Just Google it and go get it, okay? You'll spend a few $1,000s on certifications. Here's what I'll tell you. If you go get your certifications, don't let them zap your brain, okay? It's wet, you're gonna get it dry. They're gonna teach you water damage restoration as if it's in a surgery center, and that's not what water damage restoration is. We are first responders, okay? It's wet, you're gonna get it dry. There's 4 components to doing a water damage job. Get job, do job, bill job, collect job. Get, do, bill, collect, okay? But your certifications, go call Kevin. Kevin, drop a comment, let me know where you're at. I have no idea where you're at, by the way. Water, WRT, and ASD. Now, when it comes to equipment, we're gonna talk about the basic stuff, okay? Here's what you have permission to get. You can go to Home Depot and get one of those little bitty snail fans for like 150 bucks just to make you feel like you got something you wanna carry in there, all right? The homeowner has no idea that a fan is not gonna dry this thing. So you're gonna spike the job on day one. You can come back later that day, set a fan, unless it's mold, okay? If you don't know that, then don't do the job anyway, right? But you get to carry a fan in there. You need a moisture meter and a thermal camera is a good one to have. I like the X-Tech 290 because it's cheap. A lot of you guys like that bigger, more expensive equipment. I get it, y'all are zealots. It doesn't matter. The X-Tech 290 is a great little $400 or $500 meter and it works just as well as your $2,000 job, okay? It's wet, you're gonna get it dry. And a little thermal camera, that's better for a sales tool. So a little fan, a thermal camera, and an X-Tech 290, that works just fine. That's what you have permission to get. Okay, so here's what you do need to know. When you're getting started in water damage restoration, the biggest problem is you lack experience, okay? You lack experience. And so we teach, and we have a coaching program. It's our first 50, but the biggest problem you have is this. You ain't done 50 water damage claims as an owner. If you've done 50 as an employee, that's great. But if you haven't done 50 claims, not 50 cash pays, 50 claims. You got to dance with the insurance company 50 times. Once you do, you start to understand the game that they play. Patterns start to appear. You will have seen Travelers 2 or 3 or 4 times. You will have seen State Farm 3 or 4 times. You will have done multiple shower pans. It takes a handful of these things before you start to understand what they look like. The first 50 jobs, your biggest problem is you lack experience, okay? And listen, because you lack experience, notice I said experience. This is not a hole that you can study your way out of. You have to do the work, dog. You got to do the work. You got to get your first 50 jobs. And the biggest threat you're going to have is stepping on a landmine that takes you out of the game in your first 50 jobs. It just really does. Now, if you're growing quickly, some of our coaching clients, they can have their first 50 jobs done in their first 4 months. We've had several of those guys experience that. Some of you guys, it might take you an entire year to get your first 50 jobs, all right? But it doesn't have to. When you're working with a good coach and a good program, they collapse time. So the first 50 jobs are the hardest, right? Because you don't know what you're doing. After your first 50 jobs are done, then you kind of know what's going on. You got a better idea. You're in a little better shape. Now, let's talk about how to get your first jobs. You can get them from the internet, guys, and you should. Tell everybody who you are and what you do, but you can get leads from the internet. And I'm not going to say, well, I'll tell you that 33-mile radius is a really popular one, okay? But I'll say this, if you go try and buy leads from those guys, you're going to pay $600 to $1,000, and you don't know how to answer the phone the right way. You don't know how to screen the call so that you can call them back on an unrecorded line. You don't know that. I show you guys how to do that, but I'm not doing that on YouTube because I ain't getting all that stuff. Those guys come after me. But just know this, you can get water damage leads from the internet, but you don't need to go get a marketing agency. You don't need to worry about SEO. That stuff takes too long. A Google My Business takes too long. I can show you how to get jobs in your first 30 days. I promise you that. But you can, okay? And if whatever you're doing is not getting you towards those in the first 30 or 40 days, then you got a problem. And yes, it does take money. It takes a lot of money, okay, to get this stuff going. I would tell you between $10,000 and $30,000 is going to be the low end to get this thing started, okay? And that's going to be like barely getting by, 10 to 30. The best capitalized guys are going to be somewhere between 30 and 50 grand. That's a really good price amount to get started. Price amount, what is that? So that's a really good budget to get started with. Like, you don't need to spend more than 50 on anything because you don't even know what you're doing. And if you're willing to spend 50, you're willing to spend 500 grand, right? Like, you're spending too much and you don't know. So 30 to 50, that's a perfect sweet spot, okay? As a matter of fact, if you got that, call me and I can help you, okay? But anyway, you don't, like, 10 to 30, that's going to be on the low end. If you ain't got $10,000, just stay doing whatever you're doing, okay? But you need to be able to get your jobs and you need to be able to hit critical mass. That's where profit's greater than expenses. And if you do it right, dude, that happens in your first 30 days. There's another thing here I've got, Google, LSA, local service ads. That works, but it takes too long. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to get everything approved. When I talk about getting launched, dog, I'm saying you hit go, all right? And I can have your phone ringing in like 6 days. That's it. You can't get that in those other things. There's a lot of things that you can do, okay, that take a long time, but you need stuff now. You don't need it in 6 months or in 6 weeks. That's why Google reviews don't really matter in the beginning, because it takes too long to get them. It just takes too long to get them. Yes, you need it in the long term, but you need to get going. If you're waiting on that, you'll be dead before that ever comes. That's the reason why we focus on fast first. Fast first, best second. Fast first, best second. Now, the next thing, when to hire your first employee. I've got another video on the 136 method. I don't even know if we'll tag it here because I don't edit my own videos anymore, but you can go Google some other stuff, right, about our 136 method. But when you start out in the beginning, I want you to do your first few jobs anyway, because you need to know what's going on. You just do. And like, once you go hire somebody, like, they're just gonna be staring at you. You have not proven to me you can get any jobs yet. Go get some leads, convert the leads to sales, and then you can go hire somebody. If you get 4 to 6 jobs over 4 to 6 weeks, you're in good shape. You can go hire somebody, okay? If you're so old or so lazy that you can't set a fan or a DU, bro, this ain't your game. I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is not your game. You shouldn't be doing it, all right? But I would tell you, go try out the first few jobs yourself, and then use the 136 method to go from there. After you got 4 to 6 jobs over 4 to 6 weeks, then you can go get Billy, the technician, okay? But then as soon as you do that, you got to get him 3 jobs a week on average. That's the 136 method, all right? And then when you get a job a week, and then you get 3 jobs a week, $6,000 a job, 6 times 8, 6,000 times 3 jobs a week, that's 18,000 per year, okay? Or 18,000, y'all making me do this math. 18,000 per week. 18 times 52, 936,000. That's $1 million per year per truck with water damage. One dude can set those. One dude. I know, I can do it myself. All right, well look, so hopefully this is helpful for you guys, okay? We talked about the stuff not to do. We talked about the stuff that you should do. Now, just know this. The two biggest things that you're gonna have in the beginning is gonna be getting consistent jobs, number one, and getting paid, number two. So for that reason, I've got two playlists somewhere around me, right? And then you can go through and there'll be a whole bunch of other videos like this about getting jobs and a whole bunch of videos about getting paid. So I want you to go watch those videos right now and I'll see you in the next one. Let's go.